I think you're right. That's how it was presented, I think, in the press conference, that there were other things that were discussed that couldn't make the actual declaration. So we'll see in coming days. And it's certainly that I think there's a process that started, and the declaration said that there will be further talk. So maybe we will see a little bit more detail, but we don't have a timetable for when that is going to happen.
How do our audience make money out of this?
At the moment, I don't think they can necessarily, unless you want to play the story through some sort of proxy in Southeast Asia. But at the moment, there are no, it's uninvestable in North Korea at the moment, both from a debt and an equity perspective. And that might change if there is a path to denuclearization and sanctions are removed, but that could be another 10 years from now.
What about the peace dividend? I mean, is there any opportunity to buy South Korean corporate or government paper, or even Chinese corporate or government paper, on expectations that at least that element of risk will come out of the price?
I think the problem is the sanctions that have tightened over the last decade, and particularly last year, has really crippled North Korea's bilateral trade. So China is its main trading partner. Even exports to China have virtually collapsed. They're virtually zero. So to try and find opportunities where you might be able to find a Chinese company or a Korean company that are operating there, I think it's going to be quite difficult under this regime. But that's not to say that it might not happen.
What about the convergence trade then, if I can put it that way? Because we have in the past seen mutually operated economic zones where Korean manufacturing companies have used North Korean labour to the benefit of the regime, obviously, but there will be some view, I guess, that if that market opens up ultimately, then a Samsung or somebody else would find a very, very cheap place to manufacture their phones.
Yeah, you're talking about the Kaesong industrial complex, which was closed a couple of years ago and maybe could open if on the back of this there's obviously better North-South Korean relations, etc. And then it's a question, I think, of looking at which South Korean companies are going to be present there and operating. I think there's probably a couple of hundred. How many are listed and how many are big enough to be investable is, I'm not overly sure, but that might be a way in. But at the moment, it's closed. So you'll be looking at maybe their plans to re-enter that market if they are able to.
Hey everybody, it's Hadley Gamble from our new CNBC Middle East Bureau in Abu Dhabi. Thanks for stopping by. Now to watch more, you can try one of the videos that just popped up on your screen. And don't forget to subscribe.